Hello everyone, welcome to free crash course for competitive exams held by Virat Hindustan Sangam in association with Manifest IAS Bengaluru. This program is inspired by Dr. Subramanian Swamy and it is convened by Sri Ravishankar Sir, State Education Convener for VHS Karnataka branch. You can watch this program online on the YouTube channel of Virat Hindustan Sangam and also online on the YouTube channel of Udaya News Karnataka. For further queries, any mentoring, anything, any help regarding any competitive exams, you can join our Telegram channel VHS Education Forum. So I am the chief mentor of your program, Dhanush Kumar. I have been mentoring competitive service aspirants for past 5 years. So this is the pedagogy of your course, Polity, History, Economy. So we are finishing economy today and taking up geography, right? So I'll tell you the source for your geography, basic source for your geography, physical geography and physical plus human geography. The sources are class 11 and 12 NCERTs. There are 4 NCERTs. If you wish to do any extra reading, you can buy this book, Go Ching Leong. Go Ching Leong, but this is required for UPSC level exams, but for any other exam, these 4 NCERTs, class 11 and 12 NCERTs, 4 NCERT books are more than sufficient. Apart from that, you have to buy a atlas, student atlas. There is Oxford student atlas is there. You can buy this atlas and look at the maps because these days in the exams they are emphasizing more and more on the maps, right? For example, in the 2020 there was one question on Zambezi River, right? It flows in Africa into Indian Ocean. And also in 2021 UPSC mains there was a question on Saltoro Ridge, right? It falls in the Jammu and Kashmir region, right? Just below the Siachen region, right? So maps can make a huge difference in your scores. So please do study the maps, right? Today we will finish off the rest of the economy and take up the geography part, right? We will begin with World Physical Geography. So we were talking about World Trade Organization. This is one organization which is aiming towards increasing the world trade, lowering the barriers, lowering the discrimination, enhancing the market access, and all these things among the countries across the world, right? So there is this concept of trade war. So when we talk of trade war, the predominant example that comes into our mind is the trade war between USA and China. So what is this trade war all about? So this will be asked in your current affairs based question. So please pay attention. So it is either increase in the tariff, that is taxation, or the quantitative restrictions, right? So quantitative means suppose China is exporting, let's say, some machinery. So USA will say, USA will say we will buy just 100 machines, not more than that. This is quantitative restriction. Suppose USA imposes these kind of quantitative, that is only this much quantity, or enhances the taxes on the Chinese products. This is called as what? These both can contribute to the trade war between USA and China, right? Similarly, China will also increase the taxation, that will also contribute to the trade war, right? This is the concept recently, and also one more way of looking at trade war is increasing the currency or depreciating the currency, right? China artificially devalues its currency. So if it is for $1, it is some 100 yuan. What they will do? They will reduce it to 120 or increase it to 120 yuan, so that their exports become competitive. All these forms the part of the trade war. So even America is following this trade war principle under America First. So this principle was bought under Donald Trump. What did he do? He emphasized on providing more and more employment for the Americans, reducing the outsourcing of employment outside the country, and also prohibiting the excessive imports from other countries. So this is the concept of America First, brought about by Donald Trump, right? So what is the reason? Because one is a political reason, because he wanted to gather votes. Second reason is the economic reason, that is he wanted to provide more and more jobs to the Americans. See, because in India, for example, China, for example, there is lot of cheap labor available at very cheap rates. So what he did was, what these companies in America did was, they started outsourcing, that is, giving the employment to other countries. They used to send the employment to other countries. Who used to suffer? The local Americans used to suffer. So this is the reason, these are the reasons behind the protectionism or trade wars, right? Political, strategic, all these reasons form a part. So it is a populist region. Populist means you, for example, government gives this, for example, you can take this Amma Hotel in Tamil Nadu, right? So the Amma canteen. So it is a populist measure, or giving TVs or giving mixer grinders, all these things means they are going to give all this in order to gather support. This is a populist measure. So even America first is also a populist measure. So World Trade Organization, plurilateral. So we have talked about bilateral and plurilateral. What is bilateral? Between two countries. Multilateral among multiple countries, right? Among all the countries across the world, right? Whereas there is one concept of minilateral. What is minilateral? Among few of the countries. So there is one more concept called plurilateral under World Trade Organization. What is plurilateral? Not very important, but you must know what it is. So narrow group of signatories, right? These are very few group of World Trade Organization members. They are going to discuss. It is just like a minilateral. That is very few countries come together and discuss over certain issues, right? So this is a narrow group of signatories who are going to discuss, right? What is the reason? Reason for plurilateral is because Doha agenda is not yet complete. Under Doha, agricultural subsidies, I have been telling and again they are going to ask in your exam, what is Doha agenda? Agricultural subsidies or market access or your IPR issues. I'll discuss what is IPR issues. So with respect to these issues, there has not yet been any progress from the developed countries, right? Developed countries are not budging to the demand of the developing countries. So these countries, few countries come together and they are going to discuss this Doha issues, right? So what are the areas that come under plurilateral? This is e-commerce, investment, MSME. So this can be among the developing countries as well as developed countries. Developing country plurilateral or developed country plurilateral. So what is developing country plurilateral? They are going to focus on Doha issues, for issues that are important to them. Whereas developed countries, so they are focusing on advanced issues. Advanced issues like e-commerce, Amazon, all those things. Investment from one country to another, right? MSME means micro, small and medium enterprises. All these things, this developed countries are going to focus. So India says, India opposes the plurilateral. Why? Because it is just few group of countries focusing on their narrow interest. It is not all the members as in a general council, right? Or in a ministerial conference. So India doesn't support the plurilateral. This is the concept. Next you have Asian Clearing Union. See, which is a clearing house in India? It is the National Clearing House, or the National Clearing House is there with respect to the stock market. They are going to clear the stock transactions, right? Similarly, with respect to trade between the Asian countries. So which country? Suppose you have some 5 countries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are trading among themselves, right? This country has to give money to this country has to this country, and this country has to give money to this country, and this country to this country. Why? Because on the export and import, they would have borrowed, they would have took the goods and given money. So what, the money has to be settled. How the money has to be settled? Because the currencies of all the countries are different, right? All the 5 countries. So the money has to be settled among the trade. Who will settle the money? It is the Asian Clearing Union. So headquarters of Asian Clearing Union is in Tehran, right? It is just like the RBI in India, right? So it was formed in 1974. And who formed it? It is UNESCAP. ESCAP means it is United Nations Economic and Social Council for Asia Pacific. This ESCAP focuses on the Asia Pacific region, Asia and Pacific Ocean region. This form the Asian Clearing Union. So central banks of all the countries in the Asia are members to the Asian Clearing Union, right? So what do? As I said, they facilitate the payments. Once the trade is done, for the trade, payment has to be done. That payment is facilitated, right? You give money to this country because you have bought this goods. Via whom the money goes? It goes to the Asian Clearing Union, or the money might be given directly, but Asian Clearing Union will monitor whether the money has been paid, right? That is the facilitating payments is the function. It just acts like a payment bank. I've told you what is payment bank. Then the unit of account, the currency of Asian Clearing Union is Asian Monitoring Union. Asian Monetary Union or AMU. It is two currencies are there for Asian Clearing Union. One is ACU dollar, Asian Clearing Union dollar, and Asian Clearing Union euro. These are the two countries, two currencies in which the Asian Clearing Union is going to transact. Next you have, there are certain terms which you should know with respect to the trade, World Trade Organization. So the first term is aggregate measure of support. What is aggregate measure of support? AMS. So suppose they are going to ask what is aggregate measure of support? It is the total support given by a country to agriculture, right? So total support, all the subsidies, electricity, water, seed subsidy. So everything given, all the subsidies counted together is the aggregate measure of support to any particular sector, in particular to the agricultural sector, right? Then you have Keynes Group. What is this Keynes Group? This is focusing on agricultural export. If they ask what is Keynes Group, it is a group focusing on agricultural export. Then you have non-agricultural market access, NAMA, N-A-M-A. So what is this non-agricultural market access? It means access. Market access means, you know, allowing another country to trade within your country, right? Non-agricultural means allowing trade to happen in non-agricultural, machinery, IT, all those things. That is non-agricultural market access. Then you have tariff escalation. What is tariff escalation? Let's see. For example, there is iron, right? So suppose India is exporting iron to let's say China. So this iron, what they do, if they export the raw iron, the raw mineral, the tax will be different. If you process the mineral into some sheets, steel sheets, the tax will be different, the tax will be higher, right? If you make into some iron product and sell it, then the tax will be even more higher. So tariff escalation means with each level of processing, with each additional level of processing, what is the tax that is getting added to the product, right? So that is the tariff escalation. Tariff peak. Tariff peak means the tariff hitting the highest, right? The highest tariff on a product. So which are the products coming under tariff peak? There are some sensitive products, like agriculture is a sensitive product, right? So on those sensitive products, what is the maximum tariff that can be imposed? That is tariff peak. Then you have tariff quota. Tariff quota means, see, under this tariff quota, for certain products, there will be very low tariff level. So whichever the products that are eligible under tariff quota, for those products, the taxes will be high, taxes will be low, right? That is the concept of tariff quota. So for example, there is 100 kg of rice. Suppose under tariff quota, 40 kg of rice will come. So for this 40 kg, there will be low tax level. This is the concept of tariff quota. This finishes the first part of World Trade Organization. The next part is World Trade Organization and intellectual property rights. Very, very important, because all the exams are focusing on intellectual property rights. See, what is intellectual property right? See, intellectual property means a property of the mind or the property of the brain. So you invent something new, you invent a vaccine, you invent a machinery, you invent a software, you invent a medicine, right? For this medicine, you have spent lot of money, or you have spent lot of brain into utilizing this, into producing it, or you have done lot of research and development in order to develop this particular product. So since you have spent lot of money and since you have put lot of brain into it, it is intellectual property. That is property of the brain. For that, the government is going to respect your energy spent in money and also energy spent in the knowledge, right? Both of these things will be respected, and government is going to give exclusive right. What is the exclusive right? They will give you patent. So what is patent? Under this patent, suppose there is a vaccine. If they give you patent, what will happen? Under this patent, only you can produce this vaccine. Nobody else can produce the vaccine. So why? That is the intellectual property right, because you have invested your time and money and knowledge into producing the vaccine. The government is going to give you the exclusive authority that only you can produce the vaccine, nobody else can. So there are multiple types of intellectual property rights. The first is the patent. So what is patent? New, useful and non-obvious invention. Means the invention, new invention should be new, and it should be useful for the society, and it should be non-obvious. So if you, in the name of patent, if you invent just one wheel, normal wheel, it is not eligible for patent, because wheel is obvious, everybody knows it, right? So non-obvious invention. So it is an exclusive right of commercial proceeds for a certain period. Means what? Commercial proceed. Exclusive right means only you have the right, nobody else have the right for commercial proceeds. Means if you produce this vaccine and sell it, say produce this product and sell it, whatever the money that comes is exclusively for you. Nobody will be eligible to take it, right, for a certain period. However, under patent there is one clause: the patent will be given for just some few years, not complete, for not lifelong, right? It will be, for example, in the areas of medicine and vaccine, it will be given for 20 years. Right? Only for 20 years you alone can manufacture this vaccine or medicine. After that, everybody else can manufacture. This is the right for a certain period. Then you have the concept of copyright. What is a copyright? See, under patent, medicines and vaccines are the best example, and also software, all these things. So copyright means creative and artistic work. If there is a creative work, creative and artistic work means what? Suppose there is a painting, suppose there is a song, right? Suppose there is a new book you are writing. So all these are creative, right? You are using your creative brain. So on that there will be copyright. You cannot copy the item from that. You cannot sell it piracy. You cannot do piracy on these products. That is the copyright, right? That is with respect to books, new books, songs, paintings, all these things, creative and artistic work. Next you have trademark. So what is the trademark? Trademark is with respect to some company. So they are going to produce the product. It will have some distinctive sign. Means that sign will separate this product from all other products. You have this example of KFC, right? KFC as a trademark, right? That crispy, hot and crispy chicken, it is trademark of KFC. Nobody else can use it. Also, you have Infosys. Infosys as a trademark. So nobody else can use the trademark. Whatever that trademark might be a symbol. Or you have Tata, right? Tata has this symbol, right? So this symbol cannot be used. Also, Tata's certain products cannot be copied by others. This is with respect to trademark. It is a distinctive sign. Next you have industrial design. Means what? There is a, suppose there is a industrial machinery or industrial product, right? Thus that industrial design cannot be copied by anyone else. For example, there is a aeroplane, right? There is a aeroplane manufactured, right? This aeroplane cannot be, sorry for the bad diagram, this aeroplane cannot be, this design cannot be copied by anyone, right? So this is the industrial design. Next you have TRIPS. This is the most important agreement when it comes to the World Trade Organization. It is called Agreement on the Trade Related Intellectual Property Rights. Agreement on the Trade Related Intellectual Property Rights. So this is one of the foundational agreements. So if you join World Trade Organization, under the 60 odd agreements, you have to compulsory sign TRIPS also. There are 3 fundamental agreements under World Trade Organization. I have told you, one is the Agreement on Agriculture, second is TRIPS, third is the GATS, General Agreement on Trade in Services. So what is TRIPS, right? So it is a legal standard of countries for copyright. So what does it give? It gives, under TRIPS, what does the World Trade Organization says? It says that there should be a legal standard for countries. There should be a standard, right, for all the countries to respect intellectual property. So what happens? I'll give you an example. In USA, this is USA, let's say, and this is India, right? So in USA, somebody manufactures one vaccine, right? Some vaccine or some medicine, right? So what, let's say this is some other country, let's say Vietnam, right? What these Vietnamese do, they will go and get this vaccine and start manufacturing here. But these people in USA, they would have spent lot of money, lot of research into the finding out the vaccine. It will be a huge loss for them. That is why TRIPS comes. It says there is a standard. All the countries should follow this standard. That standard is legal standard, means there is legal backing. If you violate the standard, you will be liable for prosecution under the international law, right? Under the World Trade Organization. It is a legal standard for countries for copyright, geographical indication, industrial design, patent, everything, right? No country which is member of World Trade Organization can violate copyright or geographical indication or industrial design or patent, trademark or anything, right? Under TRIPS, there is a dispute resolution procedure. See, Vietnam has copied the design of USA. Vietnam has copied the design of USA. What happens? USA will complain to the World Trade Organization. There is a dispute resolution procedure among Vietnam and USA. The dispute resolution procedure will give a ruling, and that ruling will be enforced. There will be punishment clause or fine imposed on the Vietnam. There is a enforcement procedure as well. See, when it comes to agreement of agriculture or GATT, anything, there is no enforcement procedure. But with respect to TRIPS, there is an enforcement procedure. That is the speciality of TRIPS, right? So there is a dispute resolution procedure as well. Then you have TRIPS and patents. This is the most important thing. See, patent means what? I told you, it is a exclusive right. Only you can manufacture if you have invented a new product, right? In return, what is the, see, government gives a right for you, right? Like your property, government will give patent for you on the product which you have invented. But what is the use for public? Public from the patent. See, after 20 years, whatever is your invention, that will be given for public. Everybody can use it. Not only that, not only after 20 years, even during the 20 years. So you have to manufacture and benefit the society. You have to manufacture your own invention. Suppose a medicine you have invented, you have to manufacture that medicine and benefit the public for first 20 years. After 20 years, any other company can also manufacture and benefit the public use, right? This is the concept. So then there are two types of patents. What are the two types of patents? One is the product patent. Second is the process patent. What is product patent? See, suppose, let's say there is a, let me take the example of a dish. Let's say that take the dish of paneer butter masala, right? So if paneer butter masala as a product patent, right? Product patent means nobody can manufacture paneer butter masala, right? So if paneer butter masala as a patent, nobody in India, if it is there in India, nobody can manufacture it. Only the company which has a patent can manufacture it. That is product patent. Patent is for the entire product, right? Then there is concept of process patent, right? What is the process patent? See, paneer butter masala can be manufactured in various ways, right? First you might put paneer, then onion, or then masala. That is one process, process number one. Second number process is, first you might boil the paneer. I don't know how to make it, just I am making a guess. So first you might boil the paneer, then you might put the masala, or later onion, something like that. So there is, that is the second process. Then there is third process of first putting everything, boiling paneer separately, later on at the end you mix the paneer, right? There are three ways of paneer butter, making the paneer butter masala. So what happens if you have process patent? So process patent is given for individual processes, not on the product, right? Suppose a company has taken the process patent for process number 1, right? Process number 1, there is process patent. Then other companies can manufacture via process 2 and process 3. Nobody can ask them. But this process cannot be manufactured because there is patent for that particular process, right? So that is the difference. If there is process patent, only that process manufacturing is prohibited. You can manufacture the paneer butter masala by any other process, right? But if there is a product patent, then you cannot manufacture paneer butter masala by any of the processes. These are the differences. So product patent is the strongest patent, right? So before TRIPS, India had only process patent. India, before the TRIPS came, 1995, India used to give just process patent. Like there is some medicine. Let us take crocin medicine, right? So what India used to do, they used to give, there is one process, let's say one company is manufacturing, for that process they used to give process patent. But the same crocin medicine can be manufactured by any other process, right? This was the problem. But after TRIPS came, India is giving just product patent. That is, the product is prohibited from manufacturing by any of the processes, right? So next, this is the concept of product and process patent. Then you have TRIPS. Under TRIPS, you have both the patents. It includes both process patent and product patent, right? Then product patents for certain sectors have exclusive product patent. What are the sectors which should be given only product patent? It is food, I told you, paneer butter masala. Then pharmaceuticals, some cancer drug or some chemical, some fertilizer, insecticide chemical, they can be given only the product patent. Process patent cannot be given to these three sectors. So this is valid for 20 years. After 20 years, anybody can manufacture in any of the process. After 20 years, there is no bar. Right? See, this is a concept. So to implement the TRIPS, I told you TRIPS came in 1995, whereas developed countries had to implement it by 2000. That is, within 5 years, the entire TRIPS agreement had to be agreed to, whereas developing countries, including India, had to agree to the TRIPS agreement within 10 years, that is by 2005. This is the special provision for developed countries, special and differential principle under the World Trade Organization, the third foundational principle, right? So India, there is a how we protect patents in India. So how do we protect the patents in India? So you have an act, statutory act. What is a statutory act? It is a Patent Amendments Act, Patents Amendment Act 2005. So this act protects the patent in India. Under this act, there is both pre and post grant challenge. Means what? Suppose you want a patent. So you will apply for patent, right? So when you apply for it, what happens? The patent, before the patent is granted, before it is granted to you, what happens? There is intellectual property board. Who gives it? It comes under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, right? They give all the patents and everything. Somebody under it, right? So before giving the patent, right? If somebody challenges the patent, that is pre-grant challenge, right? You have manufactured something, you are applying for patent. Before the patent is given, somebody can go and challenge. No, this product I have invented, not him, right? That is pre-grant challenge. Not only that, you have post-grant challenge as well. what is post grant challenge? Once the patent is given, later also somebody can go and say, no, this product is mine, it is not his, right? That is a post grant challenge under the 2005 Act. So here the patent will not be given to small scale innovation, right? So small scale innovation means if you, what if you innovate a pencil or a eraser? For these kind of innovations, patent will not be given. Only for certain high-end innovations, patent will be given, right? So there is this concept of compulsory licensing and parallel imports under 2005. These are very, very important. I will discuss what these two are, right? Why this parallel import? It will be given for public health crisis. I'll briefly explain what it is. So suppose there is a, some country has invented vaccine for hepatitis B disease, right? Hepatitis B. There is a big pandemic of hepatitis B in India, right? There is huge death, right? India doesn't have the vaccine. This country, for suppose USA has invented the hepatitis B vaccine. So that company, let's say some foreign company which has invented it, it is not willing to sell the product to India at a cheaper price. India is going to first ask, please give us at a, so they are saying one vaccine 1 lakh rupees, right? You have to take 5 vaccine for to save one person. So India say, no, we cannot afford that much. Please give it at 5,000 rupees per vaccine, right? That country, foreign country is not willing to give, right? So what will happen then? India will give, some Indian company will be there, right? They are experts in generic medicine. What is generic medicine? Same medicine as the original medicine, but without a brand name. That is a generic medicine. Some company will be there. They will give license to the local company. So what local company will do? They are going to buy one or two vaccines. They are going to do some research, reverse engineering, and manufacture the same vaccine at a cheaper price. That is in the time of public health crisis. Only when there is a public health crisis, this compulsory licensing can be given. Then you have parallel imports. What is the issue of parallel imports? See, under this, suppose let's say you take the example of Nigeria. In Nigeria, what happens? Let's say there is a Ebola pandemic. No country, the vaccine is invented in France. France is not willing to give the medicine to the this Nigerian country. But Nigeria also doesn't have any local manufacturer. No manufacturer within the Nigeria is able to manufacture Ebola vaccine which is produced in the France. So what they will do is, let's say India is manufacturing the vaccine at a low price, right? The same vaccine which is produced in the France, India is manufacturing at a low price. What Nigeria will do? It will start importing from India, right? This is the concept of parallel import. It is also given under the public health crisis. So then this is the concept with respect to the India Patent Amendment Act 2005. Next you have post 1970 Patents Act. So 1970 there is a Patent Act. Whatever you see in 2005, it is a Patent Amendment Act. 1970 is the original Patent Act. Why? The post 1970 patents were famous in India. Till 1970 there was no concept of patents, right? Only post 1970 growth of generic drug industry under process patent. What is generic drug industry? See, India used to import lot of medicines. There was this plague and all those diseases within India, whereas India did not have any medicine. These America and USA, UK, they used to charge exorbitant price to give the medicines to India. So what India did later on, this generic drug industry came up. What is generic drug industry? See, there is a drug in USA. The same drug will be manufactured in India. Same chemical, same effect, same disease it is going to cure. But there will be no brand name. Without brand name, they are going to sell. That is generic drug. If there is a question on generic drug, please remember unbranded drug. That's all, right? So growth of generic drug industry post 1970 is the reason for 1970 Patents Act. For this generic industry, India gave process patent. That is no product patent. you can manufacture the medicine by another process. That is one thing. So, but after 1995, India accepted product patent. And why India accepted the product patent? Even though we need generic medicines for our poor people. Why? Because see, these Indian medicine pharma companies are there, right? These companies, Indian companies, they are going to other countries. They are selling the medicines in USA, UK, all these countries. If India do not give product patent, these countries cannot go to the foreign, go and sell the medicines in the foreign countries, right? They will prohibit the Indian industry. That is why India has given the product patent. Why product patent? This is the reason, right? If India doesn't give product patent, what will happen? These companies will copy from the Western industry innovations, Western company innovations. They are going to copy it, and the same thing they are going to export to the same country. At a USA, they will copy the medicine. They will produce it here at a cheaper price and send the medicine to USA only. USA is going to ban the imports because you have copied our medicine. So that is why India has given product patent. Nobody can copy and manufacture the medicine. You have to manufacture on your own. So why? Because to capture market, India has to capture European market, US market, all these things. That is the reason. What is the fear? What is the fear of giving product patent? See, suppose there is a pandemic, suppose there is a health disaster, suppose the poor cannot afford the costlier medicines, then this product patent will hamper manufacturing of medicines, right? It will be threat to our health security. That is the fear, right? Okay, so who apart from this, there is who monitors the pricing in India. It is National Pharma Pricing Authority, NPPA. NPPA monitors the pharma pricing. Whatever the medicines that are manufactured in India, the pricing will be set by National Pharma Pricing Authority, NPPA. Also, this drug price control order is there. And under this order, what they do, if there is a medicine which is priced heavily, but under this drug price control order, government can reduce the price. If the medicine price is too much high, government can reduce the price under the drug price control order. Next you have the concept of generic medicine. I already told it is a unbranded drug, process patent. So this generic drug is manufactured under process patent. Process patent means by any other process, not the standard process, or if the product patent of that particular drug is expired, then this manufacturing can happen, generic medicine manufacturing. Next you have the concept of TRIPS and public health safeguard. This is the concept, public health. See, these medicines are taking patent and selling their medicines for, these companies are selling the medicines for lakhs of rupees, right? So recently I saw that there is a injection for muscular dystrophy. So this is a genetic disease, muscular dystrophy. This is a genetic rare disease. This is a rare disease and a genetic disease. So where your muscles will become weak. This will affect especially in the childhood, right? The one vaccine for this medicine is 16 crore rupees. 16 crore rupees is one vaccine for this. So how can the poor afford? Poor cannot afford if they have muscular dystrophy. That is the reason. Under public health reasons, what is the TRIPS? How TRIPS is going to safeguard the public health? So first is compulsory licensing. I told you already. Under compulsory licensing, temporarily they are going to override the patent. There is some crisis, health emergency in the country. They are going to override the patent. Whoever company has a patent, they will not care for them. They are going to override the patent. And just they don't override. They will pay the compensation. Some money they will pay to the original company. See, I am overriding the patent because we need the medicine for serving the poor. But we will not cheat you. We will pay some money. Compensation is paid to the patent holder. So, who will look after the patent, if there is any issues with respect to patent in India, it is Intellectual Property Appellate Board. This is the body which is going to look after the intellectual property in India, Intellectual Property Appellate Board. First license under intellectual property. So there was this case, there was only one case with respect to a cancer drug. Cancer drug, what they do, some foreign country was giving it more than ₹1 lakh. So what India did, this Intellectual Property Board, what they did in 2012, they gave the license, compulsory license to Natco Pharma. It is an Indian company. Indian company started manufacturing the cancer drug at a cheaper price. Right? This is the only case of compulsory license being given in India. So because of this, USA got irritated because USA company was cheated. Right? India was placed on a priority watch list of USTR special 301 review. This 301 review, priority watch list, everything will come in your exam. Right? That is why it is being done. So what is this? US Trade Representative Special 301 Review. Special 301 Review is a report. Under this report, India was placed under priority watch list. Watch list means what? This country, India will be watched frequently because they are not adhering to the patent. They are cheating the patent. So that is why we are watching the India under priority watch list under the US TR Special 301 Review. Then you have this concept of parallel import, especially India. Suppose India doesn't have the provision of giving compulsory licensing because even this cancer drug, suppose let's say this Natco Pharma is not there in India to manufacture the cancer drug. What we will do? Let's say some other country, let's say Indonesia is manufacturing the same drug at a lower price. We will parallelly import. Company unwilling for afford. Let's say first we will ask the foreign company, that is American company, to give the product at a less price. Right? If they don't agree, we will import from, in this case, from Indonesia at a less price. Parallelly we are importing, not from USA, from Indonesia at a less price. That is the concept of parallel import. Next you have incremental innovations. See what they do. See, this product patent is given for just 20 years. Right? After 20 years, the patent will expire. So they don't want to give away their innovation for any other company. What they will do, suppose this medicine they are manufacturing. Right? This medicine is like this. One medicine, let's say a medicine for malaria. Right? What they will do, instead of this shape, they will make the shape like this, round, and they will apply for patent again. Same thing, they are going to just change the shape and apply for patent. Or if the color is red, they will change the color to blue and apply for patent. We have invented some new product. Under this is called incremental innovation. Innovation is already done. Over that, some small innovation they will do and reapply for the patent. This is called evergreening of patent. Patent is given. You want that patent forever. That is evergreening of patent. Forever, if it is given, it will hamper other companies. It will hamper the public health. Right? So, what India does, no NS, if new drug, let's say from this drug, you are manufacturing this drug, if this drug doesn't have any enhanced therapeutic value, let's say this drug is curing malaria in 1 month, this drug should cure it in 10 days. Right? If there is no enhanced therapeutic value, we will not give you patent. So there should be some enhanced therapeutic value. Then only you are eligible for patent. Right? Then you have voluntary licensing. So because of all these things, we can ask this question, that why government itself should give the compulsory licensing? Why can't the companies themselves give the products at a less price to the poor people? That was also seen in one of the cases. So you have this Gilead Sciences. So they manufacture drug for hepatitis B called Sovaldi. Right? Sovaldi drug. So what they did, because this is a very good company, they are public oriented, what they did, they gave license for all the countries. They invented the drug, but they did not expect too much money from all the countries. They gave voluntarily, they gave the license for all the people to manufacture the drug. That is the concept of companies themselves giving the license, voluntary licensing. Gilead Sciences did it. So in turn, what these other countries they gave for Gilead Sciences, in turn they gave some royalty, some 7% or 15% money out of profit is given for Gilead Sciences. Next you have Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement 2011. See, this in India, our India is manufacturing lot of drugs, right? But lot of these drugs, USA gets irritated because lot of these drugs, there will be either breach of patent or the product patent has expired, the product price is very less, it will be a competition to US company. So what they will do, they have done this Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement. Counterfeiting means what? The best example for counterfeiting is China. You have original Rolls-Royce in United Kingdom, the same duplicate Rolls-Royce, they will do it in China. Counterfeit, right? Just like fake product, right? Duplicate product. So against this counterfeiting, all these companies, all these multinational countries, developed countries, they came to this agreement. So what is this agreement all about? MNC multinational treaty. Multinational companies came together. Multinational companies from developed countries, they came together and signed this multinational treaty for IPR enforcement. Means what? If IPR, intellectual property right, is given in USA, it should be respected everywhere, right? That is the concept. IPR should be enforced properly. And counterfeit goods, that is duplicate goods, same goods manufactured somewhere else at a cheaper price, they should be confiscated, right? They should be confiscated and destroyed. That is this agreement. So this is called as TRIPS Plus. TRIPS Plus, if they ask the question, please remember it is ACTA, ACTA, Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement 2011 is called as TRIPS Plus, right? So they will confiscate the goods. That is, they are going to take the goods and destroy it, right? Just like how our excise department destroys the fake liquor. They are going to do bulldozer. They are going to push the bulldozer on all these fake bottles and destroy it. Just like that, they are going to destroy the confiscated goods, right? Next you have sui generis system. What is sui generis? It is simple. See, this TRIPS is there for protecting the intellectual property rights. TRIPS. So, should we follow the TRIPS itself? Should we not? Can we design our India's own method of protecting the intellectual property rights? There is a provision of protecting the intellectual property rights by our own system, by our designing our own system. That is called as sui generis system. It means generating by itself, or itself means the country itself will give some new process to protect the intellectual property rights, right? It is indigenous protection system instead of TRIPS, right? As simple as that. Next you have geographical indications, very, very important. GI. So what is the example of your GI? See, some product, let's say Mysore Pak. Mysore Pak is famous because it is manufactured in Mysore, right? So it is originated from Mysore. If a product is originating from a particular place, due to climate or soil or expertise or technology, there will be some special products. You take the example of Darjeeling tea. So why Darjeeling tea is famous? Because it is grown in that particular climate. It is grown in that particular soil. It is grown by some specific technology. Their local people have the expertise to produce the Darjeeling tea. That is why Darjeeling tea is only famous in Darjeeling. That means the tea which is grown in Darjeeling itself can be called as Darjeeling tea. You cannot cultivate Darjeeling tea in our Chikmagalur, right? So that is the geographical indication. Means that particular product which has all these specialities that should come from that particular place only, right? That means Mysore Pak can be manufactured, or the Mysore Pak manufactured in Mysore itself has the value. If it is manufactured in Chennai, no value. Similarly, Kanchipuram silks, if it is manufactured in Kanchipuram by the local people who are famous in making that, then only it will have the geographical indication. Or else, because they will have some technology, they will use some different colors which are not available other side, right? They will use some special silk. So that is the geographical indication, right? They owe their properties to region of origin. I told you where they originate, the properties of that region, climate and everything, they will it will impact the product. You have basmati rice, where it is produced. Darjeeling tea, this was the first product to get geographical indication. This is a tag. This is a tag. Just like cleanest city in India tag, Swachh city, you have the geographical indication. Darjeeling tea is the first one to get. Kanchipuram silk also has this status. You have many things are there. For example, you have this Kolhapuri slippers, right? All these things have the geographical indication. So it can be an agricultural product, tea, coffee, all these things, or it can be a natural product, right? Some honey or some natural thing, honey or rubber, or it can be a manufactured product as well. What are the benefits of giving geographical indication? The benefit is it will give proper quality assurance. The product is manufactured there only, because of which there is one quality, right? It will make the product famous. It will bring to good income to the producers, right? Quality is one thing. Then it will export. It will lead to huge exports, right? Then you have, it will prohibit copying duplicate products, right? All these are the benefits of geographical indication. So if you want, so even your Madur Vada can also be called as a geographical indication because it originated in Madur, right? Say similar, even Mysore Pak or Mysore silk saree, all these things, right? So first you have an applicant. Who can be an applicant? Who can apply for geographical indication? Generally, it is an individual person or a organization or the government. Anybody can apply. So they must represent the interest of the producers. Even if I go alone and apply for GI, I should represent all the producers interest. So it is given for 10 years. Patent 20 years, GI 10 years. Please remember. Then there is geographical indication for goods. So there is one act to protect the, just like how Patents Act 2005 is there, you have Geographical Indications Act. So Geographical Indications of Good Registration and Protection Act 1999. Geographical indications is protected under this act. Who is going to give the geographical indication? It is Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademark. This is the body which is going to give. Controller General of Patents, Design and Trademark is the body which is going to give the geographical indication, right? Next you have this registry. Where is this geographical indication registry is? Registry of geographical indication is located in Chennai, right? Very important. Then which state has the highest number of geographical indication? It is Karnataka. You have so many things in Karnataka, right? We should be proud of our culture. You have starting from Mysore up to Bidar, from Mangalore till Chitradurga. You see there are multiple products. That is why Karnataka is on the top list. In Udupi also, there is one special quality of brinjal. It was asked in your UPSC exam, Udupi brinjal, right? So Karnataka has the highest number of list, top list, right? So issues, what are the issues? So these countries, some states are fighting. For example, there is this issue of basmati rice. So basmati rice geographical indication is given to northern states, starting from Haryana, UP, Punjab, all these states. But Madhya Pradesh is fighting, saying that we also grow basmati rice. So what will happen if Madhya Pradesh doesn't get basmati rice GI? The export of basmati rice from Madhya Pradesh will go down. It will be treated as fake basmati rice, right? Similarly, that is one issue. Then you have one more issue with respect to the rasgulla. So you know this sweet, right? Rasgulla. So Odisha says rasgulla is originated in Odisha, whereas West Bengal say it is originated in West Bengal. So both the states are fighting. It is ours, it is ours. So finally the geographical indication for rasgulla went to West Bengal, right? This is one issue. So these are the issues with respect to the geographical indications. There are many geographical, even the halim that is manufactured in Hyderabad. It is a non-veg dish that also has a geographical indication, right? Then you have APEDA. This organization is very, very important. Agricultural Products Export Development Authority. Please remember, even though it is APEDA, it comes under Ministry of Commerce and Industry, not Agricultural Ministry. APEDA, Agricultural Products Export Development Authority. So it is a non-trading statutory body. Means what? It is enacted by a law. What is the law? APEDA Act 1985 is the law, right? It is non-trading. It itself doesn't carry out any trade. Rather, it is going to support the trade. It is going to support the trader. It is going to support the farmer producer organization. It is going to support various people who are going to export the agricultural products. Then, with respect to IPR promotion, there is a cell called CIPAM. Not very important, but you should just remember, just have an idea that cell for IPR promotion and management, this cell is going to look after the patents, right, or protect the IPRs, intellectual property rights. Then you have, with respect to India, the India itself has a IPR policy. IPR policy 2016, we have an intellectual property rights policy. What does this policy speaks about? It gives an institutional mechanism, means there is a proper institution or organization in India which is going to look after the intellectual property rights. That is the institutional mechanism given by the IPR policy 2016, given by Ministry of Commerce and Industry. See, whenever this IPR comes, it comes under this body, DPIIT. DPIIT, Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Under which ministry does this department comes? It comes under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. This deals with the IPR, right? It gives a institutional mechanism to create, to protect the intellectual property. So there is a goal of this IPR policy, means Creative India, Innovative India. India should create, India should innovate is the goal of IPR policy. Why do we need a IPR policy? Because see, India is growing a lot. India is aiming to become a $5 trillion economy. Indian products have to be exported, or India has to protect the investors under bilateral investment treaty. That is why we have to have a proper IPR policy in order to protect the patents. What will be its benefit? It is going to increase India's standard, or increase India's rating, or India's products will have lot of respect quality wise in the export market. All these are the benefits with respect to IPR policy. What does it speak about? First is, we should spread the IPR awareness. See, how many of the manufacturers has an idea about IPR? Less than 20-30% people know about IPR in India. First, we should spread about the intellectual property rights, information about it. Then we have to generate lot and lot of IPRs, right? Intellectual property we should keep generating, right? Then we should have a proper legal framework in order to protect the IPR. There is no, if the intellectual property is violated, where should the person go and approach? There should be a proper legal framework with respect to IPR. There should be proper management and administration of IPR. Means once the IPR is given, it should be properly looked after. It should be properly administered. That should be there. Then also we have IPR should be commercialized. Means commercialization means there should be monetary benefit out of the intellectual property rights. See, what is the benefit of inventing something when you don't get any money out of it? So we should commercialize the product. That is one thing. Then is there should be adjudication. Adjudication means if there is any issue between the two bodies, two people with respect to IPR, there should be a dispute resolution mechanism. That also this policy speaks about. Then there should be development of human capital. Means what? See, who produces the patent? Who produces the intellectual property? It is the humans. When humans themselves are not educated, they themselves are not they themselves are poor, they themselves are illiterate, how will they produce the IPR? So we should focus on human capital development. The Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade is a nodal department with respect to IPR in India. So this is with respect to IPR with respect to products, goods and services. So what is the IPR with respect to plant products? Plant product means, see, you have seeds. Let's say we will take the example of seed. A farmer has grown a seed. He has his own seeds. He can sell his seed. He can exchange his seed with somebody else. Or he can use the seed, store his seed. He can use his own seeds. He can reuse the seeds. Right? This seed is his own property. Right? He can have patent on that particular seed which he is having. If it is a special variety of seed. That is intellectual property applicable to plants and agriculture is the PPVFR Act. Comes under the Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers' Right Act. Means it is going to protect the variety of plant. Some particular mango product, that plant will be protected, and also farmers' right. Farmers has a right over particular plant. Right? Particular product, if he has innovated by some special mechanism, if he is using some special fertilizer, some special manure, some special irrigation method. So he has a right over that product, that is protected under PPVFR Act 2011. It is the IPR intellectual property right is given to plant breeders. The people who is going to breed the plants, for them IPR is given. So what they can do, they can sell the seeds, sell the particular plant or seed, they can use the seed, they can sow the seed for themselves, they can exchange the seed with someone, but under only if that seed is registered. It should be registered with the government and it should be unbranded. You can have patents over a particular agricultural seed only when it is not branded and when it is registered with the government. Right? This is told by the PPVFR Act. So 15 years patent is given for trees, mango tree or any other tree. So it is exclusive right. That particular seed nobody else can manufacture, nobody else can use except for that person. Exclusive right is given to that farmer. So here, see, under other medicines and all, we have concept of compulsory licensing. Government gives compulsory license. But with respect to plant protection, there is no compulsory licensing. So it is this IPR with respect to plant, it is given for both breeders and farmers. Both of them get the intellectual property rights. Breeder of seeds. So you know, seed manufacturers are called breeders. So even your nurseries are called as breeders. So they will be given IPR. So there is one issue with respect to this PepsiCo issue. So who manufactures this Lay's which you eat? So which has lot of gas and very less chips. So it is manufactured by the PepsiCo company. So they say, in order to manufacture the Lay's chips, we have some special category of potato. Right? This potato variety is stolen by Gujarat farmers. they are manufacturing our potato variety, right? They put a case against the Gujarat farmers, right? So, but the case went in favor of Gujarat farmers only. So, this is one issue. So, then you have one organization with respect to intellectual property, that is World Intellectual Property Organization, very, very, very important, WIPO, right? So, it is one of the agency of United Nations. United Nations has 15 special agencies. So, your World Health Organization, your World Bank, IMF, like that, WIPO is also a specialized agency like UNICEF, UNESCO. So, this WIPO was formed in 1967. It has 191 members, WIPO, right? So, it administers 26 international treaties. 26 international treaties with respect to what? With respect to patents. Patents of medicines, patents of agricultural products, patents of trademarks, patents of industrial design, all these copyrights, everything it is going to administer. So, the headquarters of WIPO is in Geneva, right? This finishes your entire economy till today. So, this is the most elaborate discussion I have done, because economy is the toughest part for most of the students when it comes to any competitive exams. That's why I did it elaborately in a detailed form. Your entire Srirangam book is covered, right? Now, we will take up the India geography. First, we will look at the word physical geography, right? So, what is physical geography? So, we are talking about world, the entire world. Physical geography. Physical geography means that is something physical. Physical means earth, atmosphere, soil, water, weather, climate, all these things come under physical geography. Human geography, it is going to deal with the population, trade, right? Primary sector, secondary sector, all comes under human geography, migration, everything. So, physical geography is the most important thing. So, the first we will talk about the origin and evolution of the earth. How did earth originate and it evolved, right? So, earth was originated approximately 4.6 billion years ago, right? So, how did origin of with respect to origin of earth, we have various theories. What is the initial theories given with respect to origin of earth? So, we have this theory by German philosopher Immanuel Kant, right? Immanuel Kant says that, so he gives this philosophy of utilitarianism, right? Not utilitarianism, he gives this concept of deontological ethics. So, we will study it under our ethics, right? So, what does it say? He gives this concept of nebular hypothesis. So, what is nebular hypothesis? Earlier, earth was just a group of gases. There was some cloud of gases like this. So, this gas later on became earth. So, there was a nebula of gases, right? So, that is what this nebular hypothesis speaks about, right? So, under nebular hypothesis, what they say, this entire solar system was just a gas. Some gas was there in the solar system. In the middle of this gas, there is a youthful star. Young sun was there. Sun or star was there. Sun is a star, right? So, this sun was there in the youthful stage. That is, young star was there. Around the sun, there was clouds of gases. Too much of gases was there, right? So, this is the nebular hypothesis, and this sun was rotating slowly. And this cloud was there. So, out of this cloud, planets got formed, is the nebular hypothesis given by Immanuel Kant. Next, you have the theory by Chamberlain and Moulton. What does these people, Chamberlain and Moulton, say? See, earlier, there was a big sun was there. So nebular hypothesis is clear, right? It is a big cloud of gas with in the middle a star was there, the star was rotating and the cloud of gas condensed into planets. That is nebular hypothesis. So next is Chamberlain theory. What is this? See, there was one star was there, the sun was there, there was one more star. One more star came and it hit the sun. So when it hit, there was a cigar shaped body which was formed out of sun. Means when this body hit the sun, there was a cigar shaped extension. When it hit, there was a body which came out of sun. That body was in the shape of cigar, right? So when this body hit the sun, there was one extension came out in the form of cigar. When after this star hit and went back, this extension slowly condensed into the planets, 8 planets, right? This is what was the Chamberlain said. Then you have the concept of binary theory. Under binary theory, they say that there was binary star system. There were 2 bodies. 2 bodies were there. Both of them were rotating fastly. They were rotating quickly. And they formed the shape of dumbbell. Like this shape they form. And later, one of the body became the planets. One of the body became star. Is the binary theory. Binary star theory. Next you have this concept of Otto Schmidt and Carl Weizsäcker. Otto Schmidt and Carl Weizsäcker, what they say? They revised the nebular theory. What did they revise the nebular theory? Means, you know the nebular theory, right? There was one youthful star and there were lot of gases. So, what these persons say, these gases were there, right? Over a period when this sun, youthful sun, became a mature sun. This entire gas, what it happened due to heat, it became a disk. Flat disk it became, just like the disk around Jupiter, right? Around the sun there was a flat disk. So this disk over period due to collision. So this disk used to collide with itself due to lot of friction. What happened? Some gases started, the matter out of the disk started coalescing or accretion. That is, they started coming together and planets were formed. So the disk which was around the sun, they started coalescing into planets. That is what the Otto Schmidt theory of revised nebular theory. This is how the origin of Earth is explained under 4 theories, right? Very, very important. So next you have origin of universe. So later they said origin of Earth is a small thing. Though don't worry about the origin of Earth. We should worry about the origin of the entire universe. How did the universe originate? So there was this concept given by Edwin Hubble saying that Big Bang theory. What is Big Bang theory? Entire universe was concentrated in a small dot, right? Small tiny ball. So this tiny ball had extreme temperature, extreme pressure and extreme density, right? This was this tiny ball. So later on what happened? This tiny ball suddenly due to these extreme pressure, temperature and density, it exploded. When it exploded, initial few seconds, there was lot of expansion. The universe expanded like anything. But after expanded violently initially, right? 13.7 billion, I'll discuss it. So it says that there is a Big Bang theory says that the universe is expanding. The galaxies are expanding. The distance between the galaxies are expanding. You know what is the galaxy, right? So you have solar system, 9 planets are there around this solar system. So many solar systems come together to form a galaxy. So our galaxy is Milky Way galaxy, right? So this Milky Way galaxy has now numerous thousands or millions of stars like sun. There are millions of sun. So like that. So which is the closest galaxy to my Milky Way galaxy? It is the Andromeda galaxy, right? So initially the universe started expanding. So this theory was given by Edwin Hubble in 1920, right? So we have Hubble's telescope. Which country has launched it? United States, NASA, right? And opposing to this Big Bang theory, there was one person called Hoyle. What this Hoyle say? See, there is no concept of tiny ball and all. This universe, whatever was there, it was the same thing forever. It was this big only. See, even for common sense, I also find it very funny. How can this big a universe can be concentrated in a tiny ball? Right? It seems impossible to common sense. But scientists say we have to agree. So Hoyle says that there is a steady state concept. There was no Big Bang theory. This is the thing. So according to this Big Bang theory, entire thing was concentrated into a tiny ball. It expanded violently. Initially, the expansion was huge. But later, now, that is later on, expansion slowed down. Now it is not expanding at the same speed. It has slowed down. Also, initially, when the blast took place, explosion took place, the temperature was too high. But now the temperature has cooled down. So after 3 lakh years, the temperature could drop to 3000 Kelvin. 3000 Kelvin. So this expansion, universe was born 13.7 billion years ago, as per the scientist data. So after 3 lakh years, after from 13.7 billion years, 3 lakh years after the Big Bang, what happened? Temperature dropped to 3000 Kelvin. Then atomic matter formed. Atomic matter, see, for till the 3 lakh years, there was no atoms. So matter started forming after 3 lakh years. And universe became transparent. See, now universe is transparent. We can see, right? In the earlier times, universe was not transparent. There was too much gas. So the universe was opaque, right? So this is the concept, origin of universe. Then you have the concept of, so we discuss how earth is formed, how universe is formed. Now we will discuss how stars are formed, individual stars, right? So sun is a star. So initially matter and energy, there was uneven distribution. After the Big Bang, there was matter. There was lot of matter. After 3 lakh years, matter got generated and energy was also too much. But there was no proper distribution, right? It was a chaos, right? After, later on, due to this uneven distribution, there was a density difference. There was a density difference between the matter. Density means what? So density means what? So you have population density, you have density of water, you have density of oil, various things. What is the formula? Pressure by volume or volume by pressure. What is the formula for density? PVT over 100. No. I'll tell you what is the formula of density. Yes, mass by volume. Density is mass by volume. Density is quoted like this. It is mass by volume. Means since competitive exams, they don't ask the formulas. We are weak in formulas. So the mass means what? See, let's take the example of this duster, right? Let's say its mass is 100 gram. It is occupying this much volume, right? So can this, if the duster with the same mass, 100 gram mass, if it occupies less volume, like an iron ball, the density is more. Because same mass, volume is reducing, density will increase. If the same duster expands, right, same mass 100 gram, volume is expanding. When volume expands, density decreases, right? So this is the concept of density. So in the universe there was density difference, right? Even on earth we have my body has different density, air has different density, this board has different density. Similarly, earth also, this universe also had density difference, and matter, because of density difference, the matter in the universe started getting attracted, they started coming together, right? So then galaxies were formed. When the galaxies were formed, when the matter started getting attracted, galaxies started getting formed, right? Because of accumulation, there was too much of hydrogen gas. Because of C, which is the largest gas in the universe, it is hydrogen gas, right? So even in the sun, it is hydrogen gas. Because of the fusion of hydrogen atoms, helium atoms form in the sun, right? That is the fusion, nuclear fusion explosion in the sun, right? Accumulation of hydrogen gas started forming the galaxies, right? So because of this accumulation of the hydrogen gas, what happens? Nebula started forming. Nebula, I have told you. Nebula means a cloud of gas, right? Cloud of gas started forming these clumps of gases. In the galaxies, hydrogen gas started accumulating, and because of hydrogen gas getting accumulated, there was cloud of gas called nebula. Within the nebula, there was what? Clumps of gas. There was gas cloud. Within that, there will be small clumps. Clumps means denser gases, which are solid, right? So those clumps of gases started forming the stars. Clumps of gases got converted within the nebula, whatever the clumps of gas. So clumps means it is like you have big sand, right? Big packet of sand, one gunny bag of sand. In that sand, there will be clumps of clumps of stones or something. That is the clumps, right? Did you understand what is clump? So in the clumps, in the cloud of gas called nebula, there will be clumps. They started forming the stars 6 billion years ago. 6 billion years ago, the stars started forming in the universe. So next you have the concept of light year. What do you mean by light year? What is the speed of light? The speed of light is c, is denoted as by c, 3 into 10 power 8 or 10 power 9? 10 power 8 meter per second. Right? Correct or wrong? I have forgotten it. So light year means the distance traveled by a light in 1 year is called as light year. So how much time does the light takes to travel from sun to earth? 8 minutes. Right? This is the concept of light year. So now we will discuss how the planets were formed. Planets. So one is, I told you, in the middle there was a clump of gas. Around this clump of gas, there will be cloud of gases. Right? So there will be rotating disk of gas and dust around the gas core. I told you this clump of gas in the nebula is called as gas core. Around this, there will be rotating disk of gas. Those disk of gas will be there. So these gas clouds condense. They come together and form a solid body called as smaller body called as planetesimals. First there will be planetesimals. There will be small bodies, multiple small bodies called as planetesimals. So these planetesimals still go on accumulating the matter. When they accumulate and become a bigger body, it is called as planets. They accrete. Accrete means they are going to take in lot of more matter, lot of more gases, and they become planets. Accretion, and they become, from planetesimals, they get converted into planets. Clear? This is how the planets are formed from the nebula, nebular gas. Next you have solar system. How did the solar system form? So it was formed 5.6 billion years ago. Our solar system is 5.6 billion years ago old because of a nebula collapsed. Nebula, a cloud of gas, started collapsing and a sun was formed. Later on, 4.6 billion years ago, planets started forming. You know how the planets are formed? I have discussed just now. So, there are many components in the solar system. What are the components? You have planets, you have moons, you have asteroids, you have meteors, right? Then you have what? Dwarf planets. Then you have asteroid belt. Then you have the sun itself, right? Sun itself. So these are the components of the solar system. So you have the concept of inner planets and outer planets. How many planets are there? As per legal now it is 8 planets. Pluto is not a planet. Pluto is called as a dwarf planet. Dwarf means which is far away. So right. So inner planet, which are the inner planets? Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars are the inner planets. So Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune. Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, right? So these 4 are terrestrial planets. Terrestrial planets means they are Earth-like planets. They have Earth-like body. Whereas these 4 planets are Jovian planets because they are Jupiter-like, right? This is having solid Earth-like material. This is having these 4 planets these are outer planets. So which differentiates the inner planet and outer planet? It is the asteroid belt, right? So these outer planets are gas planets, right? This is the difference. Then why inner planet and outer planet differentiation? Why did this happen? Because in the inner planet there was lot of heat of the sun. So they got condensed into solid. All the gases were blown away. Outer planet were far away. They were having ice, very cold temperature. Then in the inner planet there were solar flares. So whatever the gas that was around the terrestrial inner planet, all the gas was blown away. Whereas these planets were far away, the solar flares did not reach these planets, right? So the inner planets had too much temperature and outer planets did not have too much temperature of the sun. All these are the differences between the inner planets and outer planets. Next, we will discuss about our moon. So how many moons does the solar system has totally? So it has around 63 moons, if I am not wrong. Totally. Solar system has how many moons? Moons in the solar system. I think it is 63. Okay. But NASA says it is more than 200. But in the book which I studied, that is NCERT, it was 63. Maybe I am wrong. So it says that, okay, they have taken dwarf planet and everything. There are more than 200 moons. There are more than 200 moons as per the NASA data, right? So George Darwin. So how did the moon, Earth's moon form? Right? George Darwin say initially Earth and the moon formed a single rapid rotating body. Earth and moon was a single body. They were rotating rapidly. What is the difference between rotate and revolve? Rotate means you turning around yourself is rotate like this. Revolve means you going around. Revolve means like this. Rotate means like this. Please remember, you will get confused in the exam. I myself have got confused. See, it is not the big things that is going to confuse. It is the small things which is going to confuse you in the exams, right? So single rapid rotating body. So they say the Earth and Moon were a single rapid rotating body. This, whatever the Moon is there, no, that body came out of Pacific Ocean. In the Pacific Ocean, whatever the matter was there, that went and formed the Moon because of rapid rotation. This, whatever the mass was there in the Pacific Ocean, that was thrown into the space, and that got formed into a moon. That is said by George Darwin in 19th century. So modern theories, what is the modern theories say that there was a giant impact or a big splat. What do you mean by giant impact? Means just like I told you, in the formation of the Earth, there was a big splat, or some star came, it hit, and there was a cigar shaped body. Just like that, they say there was some body, celestial body, which came and hit the Earth. When it hit the Earth, there was some mass of the Earth thrown into the space that got formed as a moon. That is the giant impact or the big splat theory, right? So this moon was formed 4.4 billion years ago. Earth's moon was formed 4.44 billion years ago. So evolution of Earth. How did Earth evolve? See, initially Earth was a barren, there was nothing, rocky, just like Mars. What you see, Mars. So you have MAVEN rover. NASA's rover is there on the moon, Curiosity, right? So you see the images of the Mars. Similarly, Earth was a rocky planet. It was extremely hot at that time. So there was thin atmosphere of hydrogen and helium around the Earth during the initial time. Today we see Earth has so many biodiversity, so many greenery, right? Later on, Earth became a layered structure, right? Layered structure means you have, if this is Earth, you have core, mantle and crust. So you have in the core mantle, you have inner mantle, outer mantle, inner core, outer core, you have crust, you have lithosphere, right? I will discuss what are they. So now Earth is a layered structure, right? So why? And also these layers among the Earth. So these are the layers within the Earth. So every layer has a different density. Density I have already told you. Every layer has a different density. So lithosphere. So what constitutes the lithosphere? So lithosphere is approximately 200 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. 200 kilometers. What constitutes the lithosphere? It is the crust plus upper mantle. Crust plus upper mantle constitutes the lithosphere, right? So here, I'll have to draw another diagram. So if this is the Earth, there will be one small layer of crust. See, this crust length is 100 kilometer. Crust is 100 kilometer. This crust plus there will be upper mantle will be there. This mantle body you have inner mantle and outer mantle. Within this you have core, inner core and outer core. So let's say this is the upper mantle. So this layer and this layer together they form the lithosphere. So crust is 100 kilometer, upper mantle, both of this is 200 kilometer is the lithosphere. So initially this lithosphere was volatile. Volatile means, what is volatility? So the best example for volatility is, for you to understand, is you take a bottle of Coca-Cola, you shake it without opening and open it. What will happen? It will come like, the hydrogen gas will come out, right? That is the concept of volatility. Volatility means it will vaporize soon. So initially Earth was volatile, right? And you have density later on started increasing from volatile body. Later on density started increasing. Even because density started increasing in the lithosphere, temperature also increased. Why? When density increasing means more compression. When compression is more, temperature is more, right? So because of this density increase and temperature increase, materials started separating. The materials in the earth, they started separating. Upper mantle, lower mantle, crust, inner core, outer core, asthenosphere, all those things, right? So heavier material and lighter material started separating. Heavier material went down, lighter material was up, right? So after cooling and solidifying, crust was formed. From volatile body, after cooling and solidifying, crust was formed. So after this, they also say why there are multiple layers, means one is this, whatever I explained till now, cooling and solidifying. They also say there was a giant impact. I told you, in the moon's case, because of giant impact also there is layers. There is layers among the earth. So these are the two reasons for the layers among the earth, right? One is giant impact, another is the density difference and cooling and solidifying. So from the crust to the core, density increases. So at the surface, density is less. At the core, density is the highest. So from the top to the core, the density is going to increase. This is about lithosphere. Now we will talk about atmosphere and hydrosphere. How did the atmosphere form? See, at first there was, I told you, there was a thin layer of hydrogen and helium, right? But due to solar winds, you know what is solar wind? If this is sun, from this sun, there will be, from time to time, there will be solar winds which are coming, right? So you have this, if you go to the northern sphere or southern sphere, at Arctic or Antarctic, you have aurora borealis, right? That will be in the sky, there will be colorful wind type waves. So why? Because these solar winds come and interact with the ionosphere. What is ionosphere? I will discuss, right? So initially, due to solar flares, solar wind, the primordial atmosphere consisting of hydrogen and helium was ripped off, right? Then in the second stage, what happened? In the earth, interior of the earth was a hot body. It was very hot inside the earth, right? Gases and water vapor release, because it is a hot within earth. Gases and water vapor both start coming out of the earth, right? They release. So this concept is called as degassing. What come out of it? Water vapor, gases, you have hydrogen, you have helium, water vapor, carbon dioxide, everything come out of the earth in the degassing. They come through volcanoes, just like volcano it is going to come, right? Then after this, what happens? Once they come and flood the atmosphere, these gases come and fill the atmosphere, what happens? Over a time they will cool. This water vapor will cool. This carbon dioxide will cool. When they cool, what happens? They will lead to condensation. Condensation will lead to precipitation. Means there will be rain. Once the gases cool, water vapor will condense, form cloud, and there will be rain. When the condensation of water vapor takes place, and also CO2, carbon dioxide also condenses, there will be a lot of rain. All the depressions in the earth. Depressions means the places which are at a lower level than the mean sea level, right? So those depressions, they started getting filled as oceans, right? This is the stage 2. What is the stage 3? In the stage 3, the atmosphere was modified by the living organisms. In the stage 3, we see living organisms started. First we have the earth. Life was confined to ocean in the initial times. Later from ocean to amphibian, amphibian to we have terrestrial living beings, right? So due to photosynthesis, there was lot of oxygen release in the atmosphere. that is the modification by the living world, that is plants and animals, photosynthesis happen and there will be flood of oxygen. So this happens 3800 million years ago, right? So life was initially confined to oceans. All the planets, animals was there in the oceans, but in the oceans you have this Dashavatara of Sri Vishnu. So that shows the evolution of life. How initially Matsyavatara, Kurmavatara, Varaha, right? Then Parashurama. Like that, how life evolved. It is shown in our Indian mythology also. So, initially life was in the ocean. In the ocean, due to photosynthesis, these plants will do photosynthesis in the ocean also. Ocean was filled with oxygen, right? This oxygen later started filling the atmosphere. That is how we find the oxygen in the atmosphere, right? So these oceans were saturated with oxygen and oxygen started flooding the atmosphere, right? This is about the atmosphere and hydrogen, hydrosphere. Then we have origin of life. How did the origin of life originate? The author says it is not the Adam and Eve that God came and gave two people were created. One is Adam, another one is Eve. No, that is religious theory. But scientists say that there was organic molecules were there. Organic means which has hydrogen and carbon. So those molecules started interacting among themselves. There was chemical reaction. So life, what we see as amoeba, plants, animals, it is because of a chemical reaction of complex organic molecules. Organic molecules, right? Molecules like the H2O, CO2, HCOOH, and all these chemical formulas, whatever the molecules are there, they started interacting and life was formed. So life is a chemical reaction, right? This is the origin of life. So now we will look at the geological time scale, how the universe was progressed. So first we have the Big Bang theory. First we have Big Bang theory. This was 13.7 billion years ago, right? So later we have supernova. Supernova is what? Formation of star, formation or extinction of star. What is supernova? Is it the formation or extinction of star? Supernova is a stellar explosion. It means a stellar explosion. So stellar explosion takes place 12 billion years ago. Then you have origin of stars, right? Stars originated 5 billion years ago, right? This is the origin of universe. Stellar explosion, supernova happens, universe was originated, then sun was originated approximately 5 billion years ago. Next you have, so you should know these headings. These are very, very important until here. So the biggest classification is eon. Eon, era, period, epoch and age. This is how we classify. The biggest classification is eon. Eon, era, period, epoch, age. EEPEA, the code word. Eon, era, period, epoch, age. I am repeating it again and again, which means it is very, very important, right? First we have the Hadean era, eon. Next, after that, Hadean, the dates are not very important. Just have a brief idea which comes first, which comes later on. Exactly what is the date, not important. First we have the Hadean eon, after which we have, so it goes like this, not like this. So after which we have Archean eon and Proterozoic eon. This is the biggest classification of times. So what is this talking about? It is the universe time scale. How we are classifying the universe time scale. So after Archean we have Proterozoic eon. This is about the eons. These are the only eons we have. Next you have era. So within this Adian, Archean and Proterozoic, we have Precambrian era. Precambrian era is there. After Precambrian era, we get Paleozoic era. Right? So you just have to by heart this. There is no other way. They are going to ask this. But not these dates, and this might, I'll tell you how to remember this. This will not be asked exactly, but you should know after what comes what. Right? So Paleozoic comes after Precambrian. So after Paleozoic, you have Mesozoic era. After Mesozoic, you have Cenozoic era. Right? Precambrian, Paleozoic, Mesozoic and Cenozoic era. Right? This is the second time scale classification. The third classification starts in the Paleozoic era. First you have periods, Cambrian period. So now we will discuss this. See, in the in this Precambrian era, what was there? First, atmosphere was rich in carbon dioxide in the Precambrian era. Then oceans and continents were formed in the Precambrian era. They will ask you oceans and continents were formed in what? Precambrian era. Then unicellular bacteria was formed in the Precambrian era. Blue-green algae was formed. Blue-green algae is unicellular. Then soft-bodied arthropods. Arthropods were formed in the Precambrian era. Next comes Cambrian era, in the Cambrian period. Right? In the Cambrian period, you have no terrestrial life was there, not there. There were only marine invertebrate. Invertebrate means those doesn't have the backbone. Right? So Cambrian era, we have a marine invertebrate. Then we have Ordovician era, Ordovician period, sorry. In Ordovician period, we see the first fish. When does the first fish come on Earth? It is Ordovician. Please remember. Then we have the Silurian period. Silurian period is the first time we see life on land. Plants were originated in the Silurian period. Right? Next you have Devonian period. In Devonian period, you see the amphibians. Amphibians means frogs. That is, which is there on both on land and water. Right? Then you have Carboniferous. Carboniferous period. So in this Carboniferous period, we see first reptiles and vertebrates. Vertebrates means which have backbone in the Carboniferous period. Next you have Permian period. Permian period. Under Permian period, reptiles dominate. Reptiles means, so all these snakes, everything. Right? So they are reptiles. So after this, we will go into Mesozoic era. Under Mesozoic, we have Triassic. Under Triassic, when did frogs come? Under Triassic it came. Right? Then you have Jurassic. Jurassic, you have, you know this. Dinosaurs was there in Jurassic. Right? Next you have Cretaceous period. In Cretaceous period, dinosaurs was extincted. See, Tyrannosaurus originated in Jurassic, extension in Cretacean, right? Very, very Cretaceous. Next, you have the tertiary, under Cenozoic, we have tertiary period and quaternary period. So now we will look at the epochs. Epochs start in the Cenozoic era. What are the epochs? First, Paleocene. Paleocene is the first epoch. So in the Paleocene, rat was originated, mice and rat. Next, Eocene. In Eocene, so I have devised one code word for this. It is PEOMP. 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 Funny keyword. So Paleocene, Eocene, Oligocene, Miocene and Pliocene. There is no other way except by hearting this. We have to by heart this because it is important. Eocene, rabbits was originated. Next, Oligocene, we see ape. Ape was originated. Miocene, Miocene, flowering plants and trees. Flowering plants was originated. Then Pliocene, we see early human ancestor. So early Homo sapien, not Homo sapien. Before Homo sapien, early human ancestor, he comes in the Pliocene epoch, right? Next you have Pleistocene. In Pleistocene, we see the Homo sapien. So this is from, here you remember the date. Recent dates are important. From 10,000 years to 2 million years, it is comes under the Quaternary period. Cenozoic, now it is Cenozoic era. What is the era going on now? It is Cenozoic era, Quaternary period, Holocene epoch, and age is from 10,000 to 0. So 2 million to 10,000 years ago, we see Homo sapiens. From 10,000, that is Paleolithic age. From Paleolithic age, we see, I will discuss what is Paleolithic. So from Paleolithic age, it is the Holocene, modern man. Now after Industrial Revolution, they say we are in the period, we are in the epoch of, new epoch called Anthropocene. Anthropocene is the new epoch said by the scientists. So this is the geological time scale of the entire universe. Very, very important, right? Next, we will look at the interior of Earth. How is the interior of Earth? So, see how is the Earth is, see you have interior of Earth, exterior of Earth. In the interior of Earth, how it is formed? It is formed by endogenic process. Endogenic process means the processes which happen within the Earth. This magma, earthquake inside the Earth. All these things are endogenic process. Exogenic means which is outside the Earth. Your wind, your rainfall, your rivers, your avalanche, everything comes under exogenic, means outside the Earth or on the surface of the Earth, right? So how do we see? First, if you have to study the interior of the Earth, we should know where do we get the information about the interior of the Earth, right? Where do we find the information? Because we ourselves cannot go inside the Earth, because hardly we can go. Some in the South Africa, the mines are there, coal mines or diamond mines. They are 4 kilometers maximum inside. So that itself is like boiling, very hot. So you cannot go beyond 4 kilometers, right? In if you drill some in the oceans, if you do some drilling, the highest drilling is done is 12 kilometers in some Pacific Ocean, right? These are the issues. But how do we know exactly that core is there, mantle is there, astrosphere is there? How do we know the information about it? So what is the radius of Earth? It is 6,300 some kilometer. I don't know the exact number because I am weak in numbers. So radius of Earth, I know it is 6,300 something. It is 6,371. 6,371 is the number. So radius of the Earth. Radius means, you know radius, right? Half the distance. Diameter is double of it, right? So direct sources of information. So how do we know the information about Earth? One is direct sources. The direct sources is surface rock. Whatever the rocks, mountains that are there on the Earth, if we look at the rocks, if we decode the rocks, if you do radiocarbon dating, then we will know what is there within the Earth. The rocks are the primary information. Then is, if we do the mining inside the Earth, then also we can see what is there inside the Earth, right? These are the two sources. Also we have deep ocean drilling project. In the ocean, see, terrestrial, if the land is here, in the ocean it will be like here, right? So if we drill on the Earth, by the time we come here, it will be exhausting. But already ocean is, we have gap till here. Why not start the drilling from here and go below? So we have deep ocean drilling projects and also integrated ocean drilling projects in order to know the interior of the Earth, right? Not only that, we get the information about the Earth from the volcanic eruption. Volcanoes are going to erupt. From the volcanoes, whatever the material that are going to come will give the information about what is there inside the earth. So this is the source of the earth. So next, direct sources. Next you have the indirect sources. Indirectly where we are getting the information about the inside of the earth. So indirect sources is, one is density, temperature and pressure increase. I told you as we go below, temperature increases, density increases, pressure increases. Please remember, everything increases as you go down. Pressure, temperature, density. It will be asked in your exam. So that is the one of the source that we can calculate what is the density. If density at 1 kilometer changes from this to this, what is the density that is going to change in 6,378 kilometer? We can calculate. Simple mathematics, right? That is one thing. So by this change we can calculate the rate of change, how the change is happening inside the earth, the rate of change of temperature, density and pressure. That is one thing. Then we can get the information of the indirect information of the interior of the earth by meteors. Some meteor come and collapse, right, on the earth, right? So that meteor will show, it is actually the material will be similar to what is inside the earth. That is also the source of information of the interior of the earth. Then gravitation. Gravitation also gives us the information. See, you should know that earth is in bulge shape, right? Earth is not exact sphere. It is geoid shape. Geoid means it is bulged at the equator. So this is too much bulge, but not this much bulge also. It is bulged at the equator. This is equator. So you should know that gravitation is not same across the earth. At the equator, gravitation is less compared to poles, because from the center, equator is distance is long compared to poles, right? Gravitation is greater near the poles and less at the equator, right? So this is called as, and also on, if you take any point of the earth, from one point to another point, gravity will be different. This is called as gravity anomaly. The difference of gravity on the surface of the earth, right? So why there will be gravity difference? Because gravity, you have the gravity, there is one formula, mass over something is there. I have forgotten. It was studied in my school science. So gravity depends on mass of the body. If greater the mass, gravity is higher. So distribution of the mass, depending on the distribution of the mass, gravity will be determined. That is why there is mass difference in the earth, because of which there is a gravity anomaly. Also, how do we find the sources of the information about the earth? One is the magnetic surveys. So you carry out what is the magnetic field on earth? What is the magnetic field in this area? What is the magnetic field at the poles? What is the magnetic field in the equator? You carry out the survey, you compare. By that also you will get the information. And also seismic activity. Seismic activity means earthquake activities also will give information about the interior of the earth. So now we will discuss the most important concept of earthquakes. So earthquake gives what? Seismic waves. The waves which come out of earthquake is called as seismic wave. See, there are two kinds of waves, right? One is body wave. Next is surface wave. In this body wave, we have P wave and S wave, right? So I'll tell you, let's say this is the earth. So there are two types of earthquakes. One is shallow depth, one is deep rooted earthquake, right? So if the earthquake source is somewhere here, it is called as what? Epicenter, focus or hypocenter. Where the earthquake happens inside the earth, the exact point is called as hypocenter or focus, right? above this point, the nearest point from focus or hypocenter is called as epicenter. This epicenter is always on the surface of the earth. Focus or hypocenter is always below earth. Right? This is the difference between hypocenter and epicenter. Right? So, why does the earthquake takes place? See, there will be fault. Between two rocks, there will be fault. Fault means a crack will be there. So, if the two rocks are there, one rock is trying to move upward, another rock is trying to move downward. There will be lot of friction. Right? If this is one block of rock and this is one more block of rock, they are interlocked. This rock is trying to move upward, this rock is trying to move downward. There will be lot of pressure, lot of friction. At one point, there will be this friction will give over and the rocks will move suddenly. That will cause a jerk. That jerk is the earthquake, right? Release of energy. See, when there will be due to pressure, there will be lot of energy at this place. Lot of energy will be saved. Once the release happens, the energy releases suddenly. That is when the earthquake happens. Release of energy along the fault. Right? So, these rock along the fault, they move in opposite direction. When they move in the opposite direction, they will overcome the friction. So, I told you there will be friction. When they overcome, they move in opposite direction, there will be release of energy. I told you focus or hypocenter or epicenter. So, what are the earthquake waves? I told you these earthquake waves, they come in the lithosphere, that is 200 kilometer. From the 200 kilometer only you can see the earthquake waves. So, which measures the earthquake wave? It is measured by seismograph. That is the instrument which is going to measure your earthquake. Right? So, there are two types of waves. I told you body waves and surface waves. What is body wave? The wave which travels within the body of earth is called as body wave. The wave which travels on the surface of earth is called as surface wave. Clear? See, when the earthquake happens, see, this is the earth and here earthquake happens. This is the focus, this is the epicenter. Right? Whatever the waves that come within the earth is called body wave. Once this body wave come and reach the earth, there will be some rock or something, mountain or something on the surface of earth. This wave will interact with this body and then get converted into surface wave. They will travel along the surface. They will traveling like this. Once they reach the surface, they will travel like this. That is the surface wave. So, this is the difference to body waves and surface waves. So, once this surface wave is there, no, body wave is not very dangerous. Whereas, surface wave is the most dangerous because they travel along the surface. So, when they travel along the surface, they will destroy whatever that comes across it. Surface wave is the most dangerous, right? So, when this surface wave travels through a object, any object, there will be change of velocity, right? See, if it travels through a rock has higher density. When the density is higher, velocity is higher. Velocity of the surface wave is higher when the density is higher. Velocity of the surface wave is lower when the density is lower. If it travels through water, which is comparatively less denser compared to rock, there will be less velocity, right? So, that is the concept of change of velocity of the surface wave when it travels on the surface, right? So, in the seismograph, they will show like this. First, you will have P waves. Then you have S waves. Then you have surface waves. So, surface waves are the most dangerous. P, S and, primary wave, secondary wave and surface wave, right? So, this is the concept, right? Body waves, I told you about the density difference. Not only the density difference, if the surface wave is also going to change what? It is going to reflect, it is going to refract. So, these surface waves is also undergoes reflection. Reflection means it hits, it rebounds. Refraction means it goes through a body, it is going in this direction, it will change the direction. Suppose it is going, the wave is going like this, it goes through a body, it will change the direction like this. Reflection and refraction will also be done because of surface wave. Then you have body waves. What are the body waves? You have primary waves. So primary waves, body waves are separated into primary and secondary waves, right? These primary waves travels through all medium. It travels through solid, liquid, gas, every material. Whereas secondary wave travels only through solid material. This is very, very important. They will straight away, they will ask this question. What material does the secondary wave travels through? They also undergo reflection and refraction as well. I told you what is these waves. They reflect and also they change the direction, which is refraction. This is the concept, right? So tomorrow we will discuss the propagation of earthquake waves. How does it propagate? Till now I have given the basics about the waves. So please, if you have any doubts, put it in the comment section or reach us on our Telegram channel, VHS Space Education Space Forum. If you have to give any feedback about the quality of classes, about improvement of anything, teaching quality or anything, please do reach us and let us know, because we grow with feedback, right? We also need your feedback. This is very, very important, and I request you all to make good use of the classes, both veterans and freshers, right? So please take good care of your health. Jai Hind, Namaste.